Good morning to day 5. This is the last day of our summer treats in 15 minutes Facebook challenge. And it's been so fun to interact with several of you this week and look at your pictures of things that you've made in the kitchen. And I really hope that you have gotten some more ideas that have inspired you about just how fun it is to create things in your own kitchen and how amazing it tastes, right? The food tastes. And one of the things that I really noticed when I, made that transition out of the majority of processed food, which made up most of our meals many years ago, is that I just noticed how much better things tasted. And that's when, I began to research more and really look into why that was. And that's when I learned so much about the additives and, the coloring, the preservatives, the fillers, the gums, all of these things that they add into foods that they have to, so that they have the shelf life needed to, be in transport and sit on the shelf and then get to your house and still look and taste, like a food. And I realized that all those things really alter the true flavor of the food. So I've just been really excited to have you here. And welcome, Erin. Erin's on live and with us. If you're watching this recording, you still have today to get everything made. And then I'm actually tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm going to come on and announce the winner of the contest. And so you still have today. You can make everything this week and post the pictures to get into the drawing. And anyways, so today is exciting because we're gonna harvest our sprouts and we're gonna make this amazing wrap. And so what I want to do is bring you over here, and I'm going to show you what I do with the sprouts. So I've had my sprouts sitting in the sun. They could get a little greener than these, as I showed you yesterday. Mine were a little bit greener, but what you do when you're going to harvest them, so I've got this full jar here, is I have a big bowl of water. And this is how we're going to get some of the brown hulls off. And you don't need to get all of them off, but I just put them in a bowl of cold water, and I just take my fingers like this and swish it around. And then what you're going to notice is that the hulls are going to stick to the side of the bowl. And usually I do a much bigger batch of sprouts at a time. But anyways, these hulls are just they usually just stick to the outside of the bowl. They also sink to the bottom, or they'll float to the top. And so I just kind of swish this around with my fingers like this. The more you do this, and we'll see if my sweet cameraman, if he can zoom in on this bowl a little bit. And you can see how these hulls are gathering to the outside. And then all I do is I just take my spoon and I'm just going to scoop those up. And again, I'm not getting every single one of them. I'm just getting, just a big group, just because the hulls taste a little bit bitter. And so then I would just continue doing this again, several times, or just a few times, to get these hulls off. And once I've got that done, then all I do is I have either paper towels, or just like I have just a white towel, and I'm just going to dry my sprouts out a little bit. So I'm just going to scoop them out of the bowl and lay them on here to dry. And we'll put together the rest of our wrap while these are drying. So I'll just kind of drain this water out, and as you can see, the bowl here, then I've got some holes that have gathered at the bottom. So I'm just going to grab out the rest of the sprouts and leave the holes there. And that is all there is to it. And I don't know if I showed you, but you can also, from sproutman.com, they sell these bags, and you can, I've sprouted some in here as well. And so I have all of these alfalfa sprouts, and I'm just going to dump them in this bowl as well, and we will harvest them. So again, I'm just going to take these and swish them around, and you can see right here, you can see all of these brown hulls just gathering at the edge, which is really cool. And then I'm just going to take my spoon and scoop that right off the top as well. So that is all there is to it when it comes to harvesting your sprouts. And again, I'm just going to put these did not get quite as much sun. You can see they're not quite as green as my other ones. When you do the bag, you have to open it up like the last couple of days and fold down the top of it so that it gets more sun. Anyways, kids love to do this. It's fun to get your hands in these alfalfa sprouts. But again, we're just going to let these dry out a minute while we put together our wrap. So to do wraps, I'm going to come back over here. So you can use any kind of, tortillas. I have never tried these before, but I bought some coconut flour tortillas to try. I love, whole wheat tortillas. Tortillas are also really easy to make. You can make homemade tortillas. We'll do a class on that another time. But I just want to show you just some different ideas of things you can put in them. So I've grated some carrots right here, and then I've got some cucumber here. So I am just going to grate some of these cucumbers, and you can cut the cucumber as well, but they're really fun. It's another fun thing that kids can do in the kitchen is to help grate cucumbers. I just think they're just really pretty, and you can just see just a pile here, the grated. And then I have some cheeses, and I wanted to talk to you about cheeses. So this is a goat milk cheddar cheese. Goat milk is much healthier for the human body than cow's milk. The fat molecules in you'll notice some doctors will say that the elderly who cannot handle cow's milk, it's because cow's milk is much harder to digest. A cup of goat's milk digests in 20 minutes versus over 3 hours for cow's milk. So I've just grated up a little bit of this cheese, but I'm going to bring you back over here and show you some different alternatives to cheeses. So I have, this is some, if you want to do like a Mexican flavor wrap, I've got, you can add salsa and some Mexican cheese, right? Or you could do more of you could do a Parmesan cheese, and you could add sliced pickles and a little bit of mustard in your wrap, maybe some roasted red peppers. And another good brand of cheese that comes from grass-fed cows is called Kerrygold. And so I've used this cheese before, and this is from, I believe it's from Ireland. Yeah, this cheese is from Ireland, and it's been aged longer, and it comes from grass-fed cows, which means it's a much easier for the body to digest the longer that cheese is aged. And then if you do not do dairy, then you can this is a homemade Parmesan cheese out of cashews and nutritional yeast. And so that is also wonderful. So you could use this on your wrap as well. And so then I'm going to bring you back over here now. So for our sauce for this wrap, we're going to make a homemade ranch. And I have some that I've used earlier this week that is finished, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to put this ranch together. So we've got a cup of sour cream, and again, I use organic sour cream that comes from cows that have not been fed GMO feed. And so we're just going to add this to the bowl. And we make this almost every week at the YMCA for the kids and to dip their veggies in, and they love this homemade ranch. And then we have a half a cup of plain yogurt, and then we have a half a cup of mayo. The two types of mayo that I recommend, this is an avocado mayonnaise, and this is a Vegenaise mayonnaise, which is made, let's see, this does not contain any eggs, but you'll notice that both of them have a symbol that's in common, and that is this non-GMO verified symbol. It has a butterfly on it, and that tells us there are no genetically modified ingredients in it. And basically, genetically modified ingredients, what GMOs do is they're two species, they take two species and they create a new species, and our bodies just cannot recognize that as food because it is a man-made, formula, so to speak. So these are the two mayonnaises that I recommend. I'm using the avocado mayonnaise today. So I'm just going to put those three things in. And then we have, I put in a few shakes of paprika. And a tablespoon of parsley. Oh, I got a brand new parsley here. Hold on. Every time I think I have everything ready, I always forget something, but that's the way life goes, I think, right? So we're going to put in a tablespoon of parsley. And all of my spices also have the non-GMO thing on it. I use the Frontier brand. They're also not irradiated, which spices, normal, like spices that are at a regular grocery store, they've been irradiated, which means they've been put through a radiation process to supposedly kill all the bad bacteria. Unfortunately, it kills all the good enzymes that are in these herbs. So I highly recommend that you can buy them in bulk at a lot of the natural food stores. And so what I usually do is I'll buy the jar and then I just buy it in bulk and I refill this same jar, which is very economical. And then that's where I have my onion powder and garlic powder. I have to refill my jars. But we are going to put a half a teaspoon of each one of these. And then a half a teaspoon of either Celtic or Himalayan salt. And that is, we're going to put a couple shakes of fresh black pepper as well. Kids love to do this, to grind the fresh ground black pepper. That's really fun as well. And then all we're going to do is stir this up. Now the ranch, just like any sauce or dressing that you're doing, it always tastes better after a few hours of, where all these flavors can kind of, just marry together. So it always tastes better after a few hours in the fridge. But there you have it. That's it. There's our homemade ranch. So we're just going to take our wrap, and I'm going to use some of this ranch that I already have made. And I'm just going to spread it on this tortilla. And then that's when the fun begins. You just create and you put whatever you would like. So I'm just going to put a few carrots, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of my cucumbers. I've chopped up some greens. So I'm going to put some greens on here. And then I'm going to grab just a handful of our homemade sprouts. And then again, I might add some roasted red peppers, maybe even some mustard or some salsa, but this is basically it. And then I'm just going to take this, and when you roll a wrap, you just want to grab all of your ingredients and pull them in. And then as you roll that next roll, and then you just get a tighter little thing, a little, what do we call it? Kind of like a tube, right? And so there you have it. You have a beautiful veggie-filled wrap with your homemade sprouts. So I can't wait to see what you create in your own kitchen. And as my shirt says, happiness is a state of mind. and food makes us happy. And there's so many things that we can do with our sprouts as well. I think I mentioned on Monday, you can add them to stir fries. You can stir them into avocado or guacamole. And that's what I forgot on this wrap was I would add some sliced avocado or some guacamole to this as well. You can, you top the sprouts just on over any vegetables, stir it into any sauce that you have. But I just hope you get into your kitchen, have some fun with food. I can't wait to see the pictures you posted and or that you have made, that you're going to make in your own kitchen. And I really enjoyed this week. So I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to announce the winner and also to give you a preview of what's coming up next. So we're going to be having, in August, we're going to do a burger fest where I'm going to show you how to make some amazing burgers to help get in, enjoy this last month of summer that we have coming up. And I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.